Welcome to the Inner Loop Radio. I'm Courtney Sexton, and I'm just checking in with our friend Kyoko Mori, who is a professor in the creative writing program at George Mason. And let's see what she's up to.
Hello.
Hey, Kyoko. How's it going?
Going fine. I had off last semester, to work on my book. So now I'm back at school. I met my classes just yesterday and the day before. And even though, it was energizing, great students, great classes, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, already.
Seeing that many people all at once is, you have to get used to that.
Hardest. Yeah. Especially having, the semester, you totally fall out of the routine of it.
Really.
Yes. So, okay, what are you teaching this semester?
I'm teaching a class on memoirs. It's a literature class. It's called, memoirs, the tradition and variations. So we start with the 20th century, memoirs and read 7 of them together and have people do presentations.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so and then I'm teaching the advanced, creative writing workshop for nonfiction.
The workshop. Yeah. What's your favorite of the memoirs that you guys are exploring?
I don't think I can decide. That would be like asking which one is my favorite cat. Yeah. So I think I like all of them. Even, all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Cool. Okay. So you've got teaching. You were working on your book last semester, though. Are you still tinkering with that?
No, my book is going to come out in March from Belt Publishing. It's called Cat and Bird. And that is going to be out in March. So last semester, I was just finishing it up, with my editor.
The final.
Yeah, just finalizing, that final revision.
Oh my God.
Really like the final sprint. Yeah.
Yes, I totally understand. Yeah. I need to get my ass on a creative manuscript, but I finished my dissertation in the spring. I think I told you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's the same thing. It's like that last round of edits, you're just like, I don't want to look at this ever again. I'm so done with it.
No. And yet I always find out something important in that last round. It all comes together, in a way that it didn't before. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's critical. So Cat and Bird, March. Can you tell me a little bit about it at all, or is it still top secret?
I think of it as my cat memoir, even though it starts with birds. So it starts with watching, right now, the chimney swifts are just beginning to come around. They migrate from North America to the Amazon, basin. And in the fall, they come in huge flocks through DC and flutter into our chimney to roost for the night. So it starts with that, but it's about watching birds outside, me and my cats inside, that contrast between the inner life and the outer world. And it's also my cat memoir that begins with the first cat of my life, Dorian, who was a totally influential figure. I got him my first semester of graduate school.
Yeah.
He was with me until I was 40. It was like a huge chunk of my life and a total, influence on who I became.
Yeah. No, you and I, last time we saw each other, and we've talked about it before too a little bit, but I have the same thing with the dogs in my lives. They're really important figures, and my heart dog, I call him, or my soul dog, was Remy. And similarly, he was, when did I get him? I think I was 24 when I got him, and I was like, okay, he's supposed to stick around until I'm 40. And unfortunately, I lost him sooner than I should have. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying in terms of them being such a formative part of your formation during that period in your life, especially when you're actually an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was the first cat, I had after I was no longer living at my parents' house or in the
Right.
dorm. This was
Yeah.
my first actual adult
Companion.
apartment.
Yeah.
And here he was my companion, and he
Yeah.
lived for so long. And unfortunately, none of my other cats so far, lived as long as that. But in the 18 years, he just totally helped. It was
Oh,
a formative experience.
he knew you needed him. They
Yeah,
have the sense of these things.
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to read it.
yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah,
Because that's also like I try to find way, like not everyone is a dog person, not everyone is a cat person. I try to find
right.
ways to tap into those things, like
Yeah.
so that it can be relatable to
Yeah.
others too, right?
Yeah.
I
And
love
they're really more the same than different. I mean, the way dogs and cats behave might be different, but in the way we form relationships
yeah,
with them, I mean, at least for me, it's never been that my cats are aloof.
right,
I don't take them on walks in my neighborhood,
right.
but we're here all the time and
Yeah,
they're totally focused on me. They always want to be with me and
yeah,
everything that happens in their lives, they think, and sort of correctly, it comes from me.
from you. Yeah,
I'm kind of their prime mover,
yeah,
and that's a huge responsibility. And that would be the same for cats or dogs.
yeah,
And that attachment you have, has to do with the fact that they don't have to go anywhere. I
right,
mean, this is the only life they have.
right.
And, that would be the same no matter what your pet is.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. And I love that idea of the swallows too, because it's this time of year where I start like I'm like, is that a swallow or is it a bat?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Or the
yeah.
stat, right? It's the swallow. You
The
can't like
swift, yeah, yeah.
the
So
stick.
people
Sorry,
think the
sorry.
swift are bats because
Exactly.
they congregate at dusk.
Yes.
And the thing is like, but the swifts are going into the chimney to rest for the night.
Right.
Bats would be coming out around
Okay.
that time. And they
Yes.
don't come out like in huge numbers like that. Bats,
Right.
you just see one or two at a time. They
Yeah.
don't flock up like that. But, when you see them in the sky, it's like these dark silhouettes.
Yeah.
And, you think, oh, maybe they're bats, but they're swifts.
So
And
this was
I mean, I love watching them. So I think birds are sort of the opposite of cats in that,
right.
I love them from a distance and I
Yeah.
want to protect them. But there's nothing I can do really concretely to protect them.
Yeah.
We can keep a chimney open so they can come into a chimney at night. A lot
Right.
of buildings like close off their
Oh,
chimneys.
right.
But all the things you can do to protect them are pretty indirect.
Yes.
And they're there and they die. And birds die in huge numbers. I mean, the whole idea of migration is
Yeah.
that not all of them would make it back and forth. So they always have more, birds than they kind of need because
Right.
they know many will die in migration. So to watch that is like beautiful, but very sad, whereas my cats, they're not even allowed to sit in an open window. I
Right.
mean, I close the window so they don't fall
Yeah.
out. They
Yeah.
don't go anywhere. They don't even go into the hallway of, our apartment building because I just want to protect them. So that, that different
Yeah.
relationship I have with birds and cats. I mean, to me, I think that those are the extremes of
The extremes.
life's relationships.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, as you were saying that, I was laughing. I was like, it's kind of like writing. Like, that,
Yeah,
like, you have to put all of it out there
yeah,
and some of
yeah,
it is gonna die. It's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, my writing is so much more like birds than
Yeah.
about cats. And I think that's why I live with cats, because the writing is so uncontrollable and you
Right.
can't be protective. So it's so great to have like these two beings that
Yeah.
I can protect and I can handle. I can do whatever I want with them, for their own good. It's like they've kind of signed this like I don't know,
Yeah.
automatic consent form.
Yeah.
So it's implied consent,
Yeah.
for almost everything. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, so cool. Well, yeah, I can't wait to read the book.
Mhm.
Well, what else is going on? So you just started teaching. Are you reading anything good?
Yeah, I just finished Joanne Beard's new book, Festival
Oh,
Days, and I'm
yes.
teaching her The Boys of My Youth in my memoir class,
Mhm.
as a kind of memoir that's like also a book of essays, where time is discontinuous. I mean, everything kind of blows up in the middle in the
Yeah,
school shooting.
definitely
I mean,
does.
it's a stunning book. So I decided to read her last book. And the last segment of it, which is a title essay, Festival Days, is about going to India with Catherine Rich, who was also a friend of mine. And she's the woman who wrote Dreaming in Hindi and The Red Devil. She had cancer almost all her life. And then, she died about, now almost like 10 years ago, I think, maybe 8 years ago. And I think of Kathy actually during this time, because the last time I saw Kathy was when she came to do an event for, for our school. And she stayed at my house and we watched the Swifts together. And this was like, 4 months before she died. And I had no idea how ill she was. So like reading Joanne, Beer's book,
oh my gosh,
I already, Joanne knew she was dying. Because she saw her more regularly. I lived here, she lived in New York. So like it's getting a glimpse of the part I didn't know. It's a beautifully written book. And in the whole book, it's kind of like that. I mean, she starts with a couple of, she starts with this guy. I mean, maybe this isn't earlier. There was a chapter called Warner, which is about this guy who survives a fire in a New York apartment by diving across to the other building. And it's not about her. And then there are a couple of pieces like that. And there are a couple of pieces where she kind of fictionalizes and lets you know she's fictionalizing. Then there are pieces about her life. But in a way, that's how you think about your own life. Just like in segments. So I just think it's such an effective and beautifully written book.
Oh, so I just I mean, we fictionalize our own lives all the time, but Joanne was one of my mentors at Sarah.
I did not know that. Well, I never actually met her, but I think of her as Joanne because we have so many friends in common.
Yes,
and
she's
a
beautiful it's a small world. She is a beautiful. So I'm excited to read her new one too. But what a small world. That's so funny. Oh, I'm so glad you're reading it. Well, I'm going to let you go and get on with your week. But it's been so good catching up. I know we're going to see each other soon, too.
I really look forward to that.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyoko.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more literary fun. Remember to subscribe so you can get inspired, get focused, and get lit on the Inner Loop Radio.